Peace unto you. Welcome in. My name is Nadiie. Today we're going to be speaking about amending with God. Peace unto you. We're going to allow a few more people to rise on in. Right now we're going to give you some mysteries. Secrets of the universe, as they say. So stay tuned for that. My name is Nadiie. I have many videos, many teachings about spirituality. And one day in meditation, I was speaking with Source in all aspects of self. And I was like, because there are so many teachings and videos of mine with various sorts of mysteries and secrets, it may be overwhelming for many. So it serves to simplify our teachings. So we're essentially going to be giving you years, over 10 years of spiritual mysteries, secrets that you can apply right now in three primary concepts, and then each primary concept have two branches that support the idea for you to understand the primary concept. So in total, there's going to be nine teachings. The symbol of nine is extremely important. Even Thoth spoke of this. Essentially, when we speak about, let's say, the seven lords of all, I'm going to want to get too metaphysical on all of you just yet. I will though, but essentially, each lord has a symbol that represents them, and these symbols essentially were constructed and formed in this dimension in the form of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And each number symbol, respectively, holds a particular frequency, and it's a stepping stone from the last. But it's not a hierarchy stepping stone. So three, the symbol of three, and the Lord of three is different than the Lord of four, but it's not better or worse. They are all in complete alignment. But as you get up to nine, nine is the final symbol. Nine is seen as the Father. Nine is seen as, like, if a human was to see the Lord of nine, the one that represents the nine symbol, that frequency, they would be like, oh, you're God. That's how powerful the Father is. They call that being the Father. So when you align with the nine frequency, you align yourself with the Father, but not the symbol. So this is where you have people trying to religiousize things. And I will answer your question. I understand your question was about Yeshua, but you have people that religiousize the symbols, and then they always will be like, "Oh, snaps! They're having his nines everywhere, getting tattoos of nines." And no. The symbol itself doesn't have power. It's what the symbol represents. Remember, these beings are formless, and symbols are form. The form essentially gives an after image. Like if you was to watch Dragon Ball Z, you know how they be fighting and stuff like that. Well, they move so fast. There's an after image of them. It's a version of them that is holographic. It's not the full experience. It's not Goku. That is just a holographic version of him because he's moving so fast. That's what any form is. So before we really even dive deep, if you have any questions in regards to spirituality, just ask it. Don't allow your ego to be like, oh, well, what does this person know? Does this person know what my questions are? Just ask it. Just ask it. Move the ego out the way and just ask your questions. What's heavy on your hearts, as we say. But before I really dive deep into this, remember to like the live and share the live. But we're going to be speaking about my teachings. I am Nadiie. I'm going to be giving you the secrets of the universe right now, today. And it's fun. It's really fun. Regardless of how your life is, regardless of how another's life is, what we all understand concurrently, I say concurrently, I was saying congruently and currently at the same time. What we all understand is y'all today is about to get the secrets of the universe. And from these secrets, from these mysteries, it serves not for you to give it to someone that is unwise. You may even ask, well, why are you even going live? Because I understand my frequency, and I understand I attract what I am. So the beings that are attracted to this live right now, I know they will have the spiritual integrity to not yap at the mouth to somebody else about, guess what I know, guess what I know. Because what you would do is put yourself in a state of amnesia, and you will have to repeat my teachings again. I am Nadiie, and I give you my teachings today. Simplified, 3 primary concepts, and each concept breaks down into 2 branches for you to understand that concept. So it's 9 teachings total, but 3 primary. So before I get into that, if there is anything that is heavy on your heart, ask it now, because as I get into these teachings, I'm not answering questions. We're going to be focused. Check, because y'all know how I can get people that have been following me for months or years to come. They know Nadiie, he's not linear at all. They can never say Nadiie is linear. I'll be talking about one thing, and somehow we all agree on this topic. So to avoid that, I'm not going to be answering questions after this segment. So if you have anything that is heavy on your heart, ask it now. I'm going to start off with this, but make sure y'all stay. Don't be just leaving because he answering questions. Because what if someone asks a question that you didn't know to ask? Remember, we're all in this together. We're all connected. So there is going to be something that someone's going to ask where you're going to be like, wow, I never even thought to ask it, or form the question in that way. So first question that I see is from the Don Dada. Was Jesus, A.K.A. Yeshua, reincarnated? Was Yeshua reincarnated? This is a very, very heavy topic, reincarnation in general. So what I'm going to do for all of you, because we finally passed the trial of, let's just call it Yeshua in his 20s. That's going to be the easiest way to explain it for y'all. I have just passed the Yeshua in his 20s trial. What does that mean, Nadiie? Well, up until the late 20s of Yeshua, he was just teaching everything galactic. Everything. And then towards the end of his 20s, he was like, you know what? We're getting a little too esoteric, and I'm going over a lot of people's heads. That's not why I came here. I didn't come here to be, praised and for people to be like, I came here for people to understand what I'm talking about. I came here to be a good teacher. And a good teacher, regardless of how much he knows or she knows, they have to align their teachings in such a way that will provide service for the students that are being present to learn. So he simplified his teachings, Yeshua. Yeshua simplified his teachings to forgiveness and love. Fundamentally, those 2 things. If you master forgiveness and you master love, you are a Christ, based on Yeshua's teachings. Why do we say this? Okay. Because of the Yeshua in his 20s trial, essentially that is the simplification of your teaching. So whatever path you're on, when you put in the 10,000 hours, as they say, it can be extremely shorter than that. But when you put in the work, there's going to be a point in time where you're going to be like, I have to really simplify everything. I have to actually allow things to connect on a deeper level. And regardless of what people's beliefs are, what's deep isn't complex. Me using 35 giant words with hella syllables does not define me as intelligent or deep or a person of truth or a person of light. No, it's the simple things, the very, very simple thing. If you really look up the deepest quotes, they're really simple. Blood is thicker than water. Like all of those, like, it's very simple, straight to the point. That's what we register. So this is in alignment with your question. Was Yeshua reincarnated? Because of this. Anyone who walks the path of this quote unquote Yeshua is based on the definitions of reincarnation, the reincarnated version of that being or that archetype. See, when beings from the beyond even would talk about forms or incarnations, they speak of archetypes. They don't speak of individual people with individual egos, because ego doesn't exist. It's something that people constantly give power for whatever reason. And I choose to not know that reason because I don't care about knowing that reason, because knowing that reason is of illusion. I don't care about knowing an illusion. Stop giving the ego power. So anyone, if you choose to master love and forgiveness, you will be Jesus reincarnated. Because Jesus, remember, is not a body, it's a consciousness. That's who he is. They call him the Christ. Buddha is the same exact thing, it's just a different word. Miracle workers and light workers are the exact same thing. The true miracle workers and the true light workers, all of them will be a reincarnation of your favorite master that walked the path and actually didn't bring forth hypocrisy. So we're going to answer your question in two parts. That was the first part, the complete truth. The complete truth. It's a consciousness. So if you enable your body, your cells, your spirit, your soul, if you enable that, you will be able to have the wisdom of what Christ is be poured within your essence, from your crown to your feet. And then bam, you're now what Yeshua was and is. So technically you are the reincarnation of Yeshua. That's part one. Now, let's get into a little more tangibility, okay? If that is even a word. What's tangible about reincarnation is, and I understand the lining of question that you bring forth is, did Yeshua have another lifetime before that where he was consciously aware? And was his Yeshua lifetime a lifetime where he was constantly aware of other lifetimes? So, like, for example, let's say Yeshua was in a war at one point in another lifetime, which he was. In the reincarnation or incarnation of Yeshua, was he aware that he slaughtered thousands of people? Yes. But, so to answer your question practically, yes, Yeshua was reincarnated. But it's much different than what people may perceive. Because, for example, if you was to go, because there's a version of Yeshua that we know in the Sirius star system. It looks more like a feline being. He has a particular name. I'm not going to give you the name. Why are you not going to give me the name, Nadiie? Because it doesn't matter. Names really don't matter. It's the frequency behind these things. I don't want people to get caught up with names so much where they're just, because like that's how Jesus was even religiousized in the first place. If people practice his teachings rather than just his name, then we will all be in a better place. But the fact that people are so infatuated with his form, that actually did way more harm than what he had intended. He didn't want to be worshipped. So I'm not going to give you the name of that being. But what I will do is explain that being. There's a being that is in the Sirius star system that has a lot of power, but he's very, very humble. He's not no like king or anything like that. But that is a direct connection to the Yeshua lifetime, because you meet this being. Because look, I'm gonna teach y'all how certain beings from the stars connect with your past lifetimes, because we can essentially, they're called seers, and seers are able to move beyond the time space format of this matrix and essentially see what's going on. How they do it is we leave a trail, essentially, let's call it a scent. We leave a spiritual scent. We leave a spiritual scent lifetime after lifetime. And when a seer comes in, if you get a reading from a true seer, they're able to follow that scent like a dog and be like, all right, they're called parallel lifetimes, not past lifetimes. And they're side by side, so they're easy to find when you know where to look. But they follow that scent. So a person followed the scent of Yeshua, the spiritual scent, and understood that, oh, he's connected to the Pleiadians. There's a Pleiadians version of that being. And it went all the way back to the Sirius one, because the Sirius one was actually a lot more receptive. People was like, well, you would have thought that Yeshua himself would have been more receptive. It's not that he's not receptive, but Yeshua is so powerful that his presence is full reality. So if you have stuff to deal with, you're not going to be able to connect with that being in such a way. You will see remnants of that being. But the funny thing that this seer understood and seen was when she connected with the Sirius version of Yeshua. That version literally didn't know that Yeshua existed, even though it's itself. And this goes even deeper of disproving reincarnation. Reincarnation as a topic is so hilarious because reincarnation itself disproves its existence and proves its existence. It's like a paradox. But anytime the seer, anytime she would talk to the Sirius being as if he was Yeshua because he has like 4 lifetimes in the future he would be Yeshua. He was like, but I'm not who you think I am though, because he isn't. That's like me. That's like me, right? Going to you right now. So the Don Dada, because this is your question. That's like me going to you, right? Let's say your name was Don. That's like me calling you Steven. Like, hey Steven, how you doing? Hey Steven. You're like, I'm not Steven though. That's essentially how this being was operated. I am not that being at all. So when you incarnate, there is only a few that understand the mysteries. Like, for example, there's something called the Halls of Amenti. Well, the Halls of Amenti isn't the only terminology for what that place represents. The Halls of Amenti is a place where Atlantean beings and beings before, Lemurian beings, even go even deeper, and go all the way in the past, where they would redo their life. So these beings lived thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, not because they was just immortal, but because they had a pathway to immortality. Again, not because they were immortal themselves, because they had a pathway to immortality. So let's say, for example, these beings have, on average, lived 200 years. Well, they lived 200 years. So about time year 199 came around, they themselves went to the Hall of Amenti, and then they renewed their life in the same vessel or a later vessel. And then when mysteries came out, and remember, everybody, we're about my teachings, amending with God, but I told y'all we're going to answer these questions first in the beginning, because when I start diving into my teachings, I am not answering no questions unless it pertains to the teachings. So I want to get this out the way now so I don't get off track. The halls of Amenti, they would renew their lives, and then later in life, we found out that the vessel itself is the temple. So you can bring the what the halls of Amenti represents into your essence. So then they would tell you, I'm giving y'all some very, very, very powerful secrets. So for all the newcomers that is here, remember, if you ask why are you even going live with these secrets, because I know my energy and what I attract and who I am, and I know that the beings that are going to be infatuated or attracted to this frequency, to this live, is going to be the beings that have spiritual integrity. Even the trolls have a level of spiritual integrity on a soul level that people must not overlook. So if there are people that will be trolling in the comments, even there are some in my other teachings where they was trolling. I said, because people was, in the comments going back and forth with them, I said, stop. At least they're in heaven. Complain in heaven. I would rather you complain in heaven rather than scream in hell. So you're in the live where the light is. I don't care what you say as long as you're here listening to it, because I don't care about what's in your conscious mind, everybody. We care about the subconsciousness. Even Yeshua spoke about this. Masters of all sorts spoke about this. The word sub means deep. Deep should mean better. Again, the word sub means deep. Deep should mean better. So I don't get how in this generation of new age spirituality folk, where they think the conscious mind is always the powerful mind, but it's actually the subconscious mind, because literally sub means deeper. And when you go into your subconsciousness, you are able to go into many realms. Proof of this is QHHT sessions and practitioners and people that get those sessions, because the QHH, quantum healing hypnosis technique, is what QHHT means. They are literally going into the shamanistic level of the subconsciousness, of the subconsciousness. They bring you on this meditation, and they bring you realization through sound alchemy. They bring you down into the shamanistic level where your consciousness, your conscious mind is gone. You don't know your name is Nadiie anymore. You don't know your name is the Don Dada anymore. You don't know your name is Ray anymore. You don't know. Your conscious mind is out the window, and you're in your, and literally they facilitate miracles. If you needed a surgery, if there was some things going on, you can literally get that repaired through a QHHT session. But it's not the QHHT session. And this, I don't give names because of that. Because I said that, people was like, oh, you get a QHHT session. How much that cost? No, it's not the name. It's the frequency. It's what it represents. So go to the frequency, not the name. You don't need to get a QHHT session to go into your subconsciousness. You just need to learn how to lucid dream and do it yourself. So, to answer your question in a long way, yes, he was reincarnated, but don't get too caught up in that, because as you see, reincarnation disproves and proves itself at the exact same time. Alrighty, let's see if there's any more questions, and we're going to get into my teachings. Remember, I am Nadiie, and I'm going to be giving you my teachings. I have three primary concepts, and then each concept branches off into two. Right now, we're only going to be focused on primary concept number one and the two branches for that. And don't think, oh, we need the other two. Listen, I'm not a TV series. You are not a TV series. Okay? We don't need to always go to the next one, next one, next one, next one, next one, next one, next one. No, 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 no. This is not what this is. You gain a teaching that comes forth from this vessel, an aspect of yourself, and you live with it. That's why, in my mystery school, I posted these teachings in a very, very deep way, in a profound way, in a full way. So if you are interested in hearing the full of these teachings in the initiation, then go into the mystery school, sign up for that, and you'll be able to hear it. It's the last one. And God told me to allow all members, free members and paid members, to get that last teaching. So if you're a free member or a paid member, you can hear that. I purposely, and this goes into the secrets, I said, guard these teachings. Everything that comes from this mouth, you teachings in these secrets, do not give them to ones that are unwise, because all you would do is bring yourself into a state of amnesia. Birds of a feather flock together. So allow yourself to guide those. But even though we don't share these secrets with the unwise, you don't allow the unwise to walk into the pits of flames. You allow to know there's a choice. So you give them an opportunity. You don't just throw the information on them. You say, listen, you can do it this way, or that way, or that way. There's many ways to do it. I just do it this way. So you have that. So everything that we're going to be teaching today, before we even get to the main teachings, know that it's very, very potent. And as it pertains to the mystery school, where I compiled all of the teachings of my primary concepts in one video, I purposely made the audio quality not extremely clear, like as if I was using like a condenser mic. I purposely did not put my face in as a video. I purposely did all of these things. It's about guarding the secrets and seeing who actually cares about the mysteries themselves, who actually cares about the wisdom themselves. If you really are on the path of the light, you will understand the power of wisdom, the power of knowing, the power of receptivity. So I was like, listen, let me just make it audio so you can just really tune in. You don't got to look at me. No. Just tune in. Tune in and just listen. And I made some instrumentals. The instrumentals you hear in the back in the mystery school version of these teachings, I made all the instrumentals. And it's also to keep you just on this wave. So let's see if there's any more questions. If there's anything on your heart, share them now, because as I dive deep into these teachings, I am not going to be answering questions. I'm going to let y'all know right now, so y'all don't be like, you didn't answer my question. Okay. I am the reincarnation of Yeshua. Exactly. Everyone is. As long as you walk on the path. If you're a hypocrite, you're not. I never thought of that. It's sock. May I say your name correctly? So yes, I think Shiva is Satan. Satan is not a being; it's a title. So anybody can be a Satan. It's like, you know how there's a general manager. How a general manager is a title. Satan. That's how you say it. Satan is a title. All right, it doesn't look like there's any more questions. All right, everybody, like the live, share the live. If y'all are ready to hear the secrets of the universe, if y'all are ready to hear the teachings of Nadiie, for you to wake up and go home today, not tomorrow, today. Type 33s in the chat. Type 33s in the chat right now if you are ready. I want to see some 33s. If you ask who I am, 3 times 3 is 9. That's who I am. Type 33s in the chat if you are ready to gain the secrets of the universe. As a disclaimer, it is your duty to guard these secrets with your life, with lifelessness as well, because you are beyond life and you are beyond death as you anchor and integrate these teachings. Understand, as a disclaimer, let me see the 33s in the chat if you're ready. As a disclaimer, it serves not for you to just hear it and say, oh, that sounds good. When you hear these teachings, you find a way to apply it, and that's why we're going to break them up. We're not just going to give you all of them at once. We're going to break them up, because that's how school is. You don't get trigonometry as a sophomore, unless you're just extremely smart. But even then, you get skipped up. So we're going to break this down for you to really, really anchor it. All right, so I see them 33s. As I was talking with God, I'm just like, God, every master has had that trial of where they simplify all their teaching. And I'm not going to be egoic and say, I did it all myself. No, no, no. Remember, I tell you, my prayers now that I'm on this path, my prayers now is, Source, guide me to seeing as you see, for of my own I know not sight. Source, guide me to what to say and not say, for on my own I know not language. Like, you really, the whole goal is to push the conscious mind out the way and just allow God to just go. So cool. I see the 33s. Let's begin. But what the kids call it, lock in. I'm on a I got my tea right here. It's still super hot, so I might sip that. But all right. So everybody, on the count of three, you're gonna take a very, very deep breath. On the count of three, you're gonna take a very, very deep breath. Didn't Jesus die at 33? Jesus transcended. Well, technically, Jesus, the body, the vessel of Jesus, did die at 33, but the Christ didn't die at 33. So, yes, no. Everybody, on the count of three, you're going to take one deep breath, allow your stomach to protrude. And then when you exhale, allow your stomach to sink all the way in. You forcefully sink it in. You forcefully allow the stomach to protrude. All right. 1, 2, 3. Take a deep breath. Exhale. You always want to allow a little space in between breath and your breath, but don't forcefully hold your breath. Like, don't do that. Allow it to naturally stop inhaling. Like, so this be up as inhale and down as exhale, right? You want to breathe like this. So it's like, and as you can breathe no more, you see it's like not like a forced stop. You're gonna breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Then you can't breathe no more. It's gonna gradually stop, and then you will gradually release as if your just body go limp. You want to, if your body goes limp, the only thing your muscles have to be in control over is sinking your stomach in, because you actually push out more, and you bring your stomach out because you actually will in more. All right, so one more time. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Exhale. Good. Now, we're going to give you all a choice. There's going to be two ways you can interpret these teachings. You can keep your eyes closed throughout the remainder. When I give the call for everybody to close their eyes, you can close your eyes if you want to throughout the remainder, and you do not open them. If you choose to close your eyes, do not open your eyes for anything. So if you got kids in the background, if you have other responsibilities, if you're doing other things, washing the dishes, don't. This version, just keep your eyes open. There's no good, there's no bad, there's no right one, there's no wrong one. It's just a choice, a preference. People will learn different things. Alrighty? So right now, I'm gonna give y'all 3 seconds to choose whether you want to keep your eyes closed for the remainder of this lesson, or you want to keep your eyes open. But make sure you're secure in your answer. 1, eyes closed or open. 2, eyes closed or open. 3, eyes closed or open. All right, so now y'all have made y'all choices. Let's begin. Peace unto you. My name is Nadiie. I am Nadiie. Nadiie black, as some say. Nadiie Sikh, as some say. Nadiie light, as some say. Nadiie is what you can call me. Today we bring forth my teachings. I've taught for thousands of years, eons upon eons, ages upon ages, we brought forth these teachings in this form and another. And moving forward, we will carry this form and another to bring forth these teachings. These secrets, these mysteries are of the beyond, are of only light, and are for you to guard with your life and with your lifelessness. For we are not just in life or death, we're beyond both of them. So guard it with your existence. Existence is beyond life and death. Existence is beyond form and formless. Understand that if you so choose to share this information, share it with those that are wise, for an unwise ear will bring forth amnesia on your reflection. An unwise ear will bring forth amnesia on your reflection. When you bring forth this information to those that are not willing, not wise, when you bring forth these wisdoms to those, all you will do is reset your own pathway, reset your own energetic signatures and filters. And we don't want that. There's no real punishment. It's just time consuming. Because you don't want to start from square one all over again, because that's what will happen. There are three primary concepts. These three primary There are three primary concepts. These three primary eons we wait. Eons we wait. Environment based on the consciousness, a version of these teachings. So every age the teachings are more powerful. Every age the teachings are more powerful, for even God is ever expanding, as the space and the stars are, ever expanding, never sinking in. Primary concept number one is amending with God. Applying amends, as we say. Applying amends is primary concept number one. What does that mean? Applying amends is essentially bringing forth a betterment of spirit and flesh, allowing them to be in harmony, bridging with God, bridging with Source, the Creator, the All One, allowing yourself to be revitalized as if you went into the halls of Amends and renewed your life. Amending with God is allowing yourself to bring forth statements of balance. Amending with God is extremely important. How does one amend with God? How does one apply amends? Well, one, you must acknowledge where your life is not in the direction that you deem as serving. You must acknowledge it. For even in psychology, they say you will not bring forth any form if you don't identify the problem. If you don't identify what is not bliss in your life, if you don't identify what the negativity is, how do you ever expect you to get past it? They call something the altar of God. And this something is essentially the transmutation hub. All beings that transmute, they know about the altar of God. It may be formed as different verbiage, but it's the exact same description, frequency, energetic signature. There is this hub, spiritual hub, that all forms of masters go to bring forth their transmutations, to allow themselves to exist in a state of bliss permanently. You must go to this place. But the key to this place is releasing your flesh. Some religions got a piece of this, and they say born again. They say yourself from the body. So they do all of these crazy. All you need is a perspective shift. What now is a secret like no other secrets. So simple, one may say that's not true. But for one to understand what the truth is, they must understand that God itself is simple. Awakening, or the quickening, or enlightenment literally is a perspective shift, and that is all. You do not need to meditate for X amount of years. You don't need to be as Nadiie and go eon and eon and eon and gain wisdom. All that is required is for you to change your perspective. That is it. But see not perspective with your eyes. See, for you to get into the land of transmutation, this hub, the spiritual hub of transmutation, God's altar, first you acknowledge your own stuff. I feel like I can, get better in this, and this area. As you acknowledge it, then you open yourself up to reach God's domain. Now you create the intention to place it on the altar of God. Place it as in all of your stuff. How do you do this? You do it this way. Simply stating a divine statement of some sort in the nature of this. Source, guide me to seeing as you see, for I know not sight. It's a balance. Amending of your spirit. Bringing forth for your spirit. Bridging. See the word amending, mending things together. See it as bridging. You're bridging your spirit and your flesh. You're here. You're in the dream. Yes, you slipped. Even if it was an intentional slip. You know how I say there's spies of the light? There's spies, spiritual spies that go into the dark places like earth, like incarnations to bring the light, to transmute. Because if you have no other purpose, if you cannot conjure any purpose, know that every single soul and spirit's baseline purpose is transmutation of darkness. That is every single spirit's baseline purpose. How do we know this? Because God is light and only light. You're saying that God is all there is. It is the truth. It is source, the creator. Omakechipanikim, as some say. Ayo Apisasuki, as some say. The all one, the all master, whatever name you give it, the great central sun, it doesn't matter. Allah. Whatever name or label you give the creator, the source, understand that it is only of light. Even in darkness, there is light. For darkness doesn't exist without light. So when you transmute darkness, it becomes light of the light. When you transmute darkness, it becomes light of the light. So all of it is just light. Now that we understand this, we move forward. So you bring all your stuff to the altar of God. You bring forth a balance in your statements. A balance in your statements. Every single sentence that comes out your mouth should be balanced. People would say the word balance, but what does that actually mean? I'm going to give you 3 statements that are purely balanced. You interpret it in any way that serves for you, but just know, perspective shift. You are going to be a complete different person. When somebody meets you, you're going to be like, wow, you're so different. If you're really, really willing, if you want to go all the way back home to God, you have to make that perspective shift. Just like when Yeshua was a carpenter and he got that download, now I'm the Christ. But you didn't finish my couch. I'll finish your couch. But after this, I'm done being a carpenter. I'm the Christ. No ifs, ands, or buts. You got to change who you are. I don't care if your family says you can't do it. I don't care if your friends say, leave them. Remember, Yeshua couldn't perform miracles in Nazareth. Remember, Yeshua couldn't perform miracles in his hometown. Everybody must remember that piece of history is just like, it's just gone for whatever reason. We know the reason. Because if people knew that on a mass scale, they would understand, oh, I'm not settling for less at all. The moment you say I can't do something, I'm leaving you. Because even Yeshua himself couldn't perform miracles in his hometown because everybody hating. You just a carpenter, bro. Move. What are you talking about? This, blah, blah, blah. I just seen, I know you since you was 3. You know, the uncles and stuff. I know you since you was 4. I was changing your diapers. There's no way you can be this. No. 3 statements I shall give you that are completely balanced. Life is like a thunderstorm. Though the sounds of sprinkles come out, a balanced statement. We want to make it as generic as possible for all of you to understand what a balanced statement looks like. Statement 2. Though the moon is high today and darkness is upon us, the sun shall be revealed tomorrow. Though the moon is high today and darkness is upon us, the sun shall rise tomorrow. Another balanced statement. I'll give you the third balanced statement. As above, so below. There is nothing that I haven't already seen, experienced, and lived. As above, so below. There's nothing I haven't seen, experienced, and lived. All right, so we've given some balance statements. All right, you understand based on what those are, what that means. On a soul level, on a conscious level, maybe, maybe not. On a subconscious level, you do. Let's say I understand those statements or what balance statements are on a conscious level. We shall explain it now. A balanced statement is perfect harmony with your frequencies, not leaning one way or another. We don't need to be bliss bunnies, and we don't need to be negative Nancy's. You don't need to be bliss bunnies, and you don't need to be negative Nancy's. You want to be right there. You want to make a statement that has transmuted darkness and pure light. Every single sentence, you must be consciously aware of that. Is the words that are going to come out my mouth, is it of transmuted darkness and pure light? Not just light, not just transmuted darkness. It has to be both. You have to live that way. Live that way. Even if someone is needing a pending response from you or needing some form of reaction from you, I don't care how long you need to be silent. Be silent as long as you need to create a balanced statement. I'll give you a practical example. Say you're at a job and it's like a selling job and everybody is missing their mark. The month is down in the hole. Everybody know nobody's about to hit their goal and we're not about to get our bonus for the month. You're the manager. The GM just got done speaking about the situation. You're the person that is tasked with forming a solution. Here we are. You're in the meeting room. All right, everybody. We aren't about to hit our goal this month, obviously. Though that may be, there's still light for us to obtain. Instead of us moving in a cycle, we can bring forth a switching of roles, and that will allow us to cease all forms of stagnation. If you once played a role as a seller, now you're going to be playing the role as the front desk, and the front desk will go out being a seller, and we are going to be working in teams. Essentially, what we're going to do is switch everything, because what once was served not, and what this is shall be of service. If something that was uncomfortable, we met it with comfort. If we touched something that was transmuted darkness, we met it with light. Let's even give you another example. If you're speaking to a child, and let's say the child wants ice cream, but you know that is not very healthy, and you want to get the child some fruit, you can say something to, listen, little buddy, ice cream you may want, cold it is. Though that is, what if I give you something that has the same texture, has the same feeling, has even more sweetness than this ice cream? Would you take it? The child will be like, yes. And then that's when you go make homemade ice cream with bananas. Balance David, everybody. You must live a life of this, consciously aware. If I say something that is negative, it must be met with something that is positive. Applying amends. As you practice this in your day-to-day life, you would recognize just practicing this fundamentally more better your life gets and your consciousness gets and your frequency gets because you're focused on pure balance and only harmony. You have impending issues going on in life within and conflicts. It's all going to be resolved because your frequencies are not leaning one way or the other. They're this all in perfect harmony because remember, sound is vibration. Sound comes from down here, your diaphragm. It goes all the way up. It goes into your solar plexus. It gets created because that's where like the creativity exists in the solar plexus, and it goes up and it goes through the Christ center, the throat. And so you just don't send out random vibrations. It's literally vibrating. When you speak, feel your throat. Right now, everybody make this sound. Ooh. And as you make this ooh sound, fill your throat. Place your hands on your throat. Ooh. You feel those vibrations. You feel that oscillation. It happens in your stomach, your diaphragm. It happens in your solar plexus form. And it comes out. Whatever you choose, whatever the conscious and the brain in harmony says, all right, bring that out the mouth. You're going to send those vibrations out. So you want to be very, 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 very secure on what you're saying. If every single statement is balanced, if every single vibration is in harmony, and the vibrations start within your body, and everything is within, your life gets fundamentally better because you're working on the inner. And now your inner stuff, as it comes out in forms of language, it brings harmony in your external reality. Applying amends is mending, is bridging with source. These are my teachings. 3 primary teachings. The first primary concept is amends. The second primary concept is solitude. The third primary concept is expansion. Right now, we're focused on primary concept number 1, applying amends. Bridging, mending your spirit in all forms that are connected with you: astral, etheric, light, sound, emotional, mental, allowing all of those to be mended together, one, bridged to go home. Now, there's one branch that is extremely important as you apply these amends, because as you walk this life in applying amends, you will recognize, wow, even though I've been a miracle worker for years, even though I've been a light worker for X amount of years, there's so much I don't know. The first branch to applying amends is forgiveness. If you do not master forgiveness, heed these words if you heed no other, lest you see amnesia as comparable. If you do not master forgiveness, you will not go home. I promise you. Why would one master forgiveness? Why is that even important? You must be in a state of forgiveness. That's what mastering forgiveness looks like. And the reason in a state of forgiveness always is because as you drift in these lands transmuting darkness, there's going to be things that you see that don't register in your essence. And there's going to be things you see and experience that you may not accept. You are going to slip. And when you slip, we need not judgments, pains, or ego. When one is in a state of forgiveness, what does forgiveness look like? Forgiveness is allowing yourself to be in a constant consciousness of bliss. How does one maintain forgiveness? This state, this consciousness. See forgiveness as a consciousness, not as a task or skill you can do. People have issues with forgiveness when they only view it as a skill or a task. See it as a state of being like Christ. Christ consciousness, forgiveness consciousness. See it as a state of being. How you know you're in a state of forgiveness is when you are in a state of bliss. How you know you're not in a state of bliss is when you ask yourself, well, what was I doing when I was in bliss? If I do not feel bliss right now, obviously I'm not in a state of forgiveness. Well, one who is in a state of forgiveness experiences bliss. The moments you experience bliss, they don't have to be far and few. Only far and few if you want them to. To be very careful what you ask for. Be very careful with saying God works in mysterious ways, because God doesn't. But if you want God to, perfect. Now God is going to be very mysterious with you. Be very careful with the things that you say, because you will get them. Say God works in apparent ways. Remember, I said I will answer questions as it pertains to what we're speaking of. So this question right here: how can I forgive somebody who stole my children after taking us out of a bad situation and returned them to me, or return them to my ex after leaving him? There's two ways I can answer this, but because we're in the teachings of truth, I want to answer them with pure truth. Understand that as we bring forth these forms of frequency and light codes, take them not with judgments, take them with pure love. Everything that we experience in our lives, we have a hand and say so in creating them. Why would I ever create this? Why would I ever create that? Even in my own life in this vessel, there are things that I would have preferred not to experience. But from these experiences, we meet specific people. From these experiences, we have specific epiphanies. From these experiences, you are actually attracted to particular beings. From these experiences, you're connected with certain philosophies and patterns of thought from these experiences. From these experiences, you understand your brethren and your sisters much more from these experiences. One who is tasked to be a light worker on earth, one who is tasked to be a light worker on earth must understand that to teach one in the darkness, you have to go into the dark to bring them out of it. But hold your light ever so strong. Allow your immediate path to be illuminated so that they see the light and not the dark cave, but the dark world. So right now you have the opportunity with your consciousness and your experience to guide any that has lost their children, because you experienced it. So you are in the position to be one of the greatest masters to guide children of the light, whether the forms of adults or the ones that are young in age, because of your own experience. Now you must ask yourself, do you want that? Okay, now ask yourself, well, what do you want? So the only way you'll feel empowered right now, because the only reason you don't feel empowered is because the path that your soul and other aspects of yourself construct was this path. And it was specifically for you to be able to guide all through deep, deep turmoils and tornadoes. Because you're the best person for it because of your experiences. Like, you know how in jobs they go and look for people in their experiences. Based on what you've experienced, you can get this role in this job. You have the ability to be a master transmuter of darkness, of all forms of darkness, when you allow wisdoms to be extracted from the situation. So in closing and conclusion to that question, ask yourself these three things. And you, after you've asked these three things, will lead you to answers. The first thing you ask is, what do you want to do? What do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do? You're obviously infatuated with the light, for you would not be in here in this life if you weren't. That's a tip, a hint. But you ask yourself, what do I actually want to do? Don't allow the ego to get in the way and say, oh, but I'm so hopeless. And oh, no, no, no. No. Say, listen, even if the ego has comforted you, which it has comforted all of us. That's how it even got here, because the ego is a mass manipulator. Just tell the ego, listen, the ego, come back tomorrow. The ego is going to be like, all right, bet. At least you gave me a date. If you tell the ego leave permanently, that's where the fight is going to happen. I'm never leaving. I'm never leaving. If you, ego, come back tomorrow. Tell the monkey mind, swing on your handlebars tomorrow. Okay, let me ask this question. You asked, what do I want to do? And even if you don't consciously believe this statement as I am powerful or I do know, still say it. Because what good does it do you practically to say you don't know anything? What good does it do you practically to empower being in the dark for the remainder and to thus point in your life? What practically, how does that benefit your life? See, when we go into the consciousness, we ask, listen, I like what you said there. I've seen it. Practically, we ask ourselves, listen, all right, I know, I know my life may not be where I want it to be. Or even I know my life sucks. But practically, if I don't want my life to be sucking and I am somewhat aware of the light and the power of my words, even if in my heart I believe my life is always going to be trash, I'm at least going to say I know my life is good. I'm at least going to say I'm on the path of light. I'm at least going to say these things to bring forth balance. Because eventually, the life that you seek will be attracted to you, but you're constantly pushing it away by saying you don't know. You're constantly pushing it away by glamorizing the dark aspects of your life and not the light aspects of your life. To rewire your brain in this is think about good times because the brain doesn't know whether something is happening now or later. Remember, the path of light is going to be hard. Never think the path of light is going to be easy. Never think the path of light is going to be easy. Why? We must steer clear of the weeds of this world. We must steer clear of the negative beings of this world. If the path of light was extremely easy like the dark, if it would, you can sell out right now, just like that, so fast, and get everything you wanted. That's how the dark operates, and you see where they're heading. You see everybody's getting caught up. The light is hard because we have to the ones who are unwise. That's why the light is hard. The light isn't hard because God wants to test and and all it is. No, 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 no. The light is hard because we have people that don't embody the light. We have people that steal the information and manipulate it into their own greeds. So, for example, if I say, if you follow these paths that I give you, you will get $1,000,000. If I say that, and I produced a frequency that was completely of truth because it will be, and it is, you have 1,000,000 people in this live, right? 1,000,000 people. Oh my God! If I follow his teachings, I get $1,000,000 because we will have testimony to people. So everybody coming in the live, right? If I say there's 3 steps to get $1,000,000, everybody gonna come in. Everybody gonna come in. Everybody gonna come in, right? People that's serious, people that's unserious, people that's just trolling, people that's not trolling. Everybody. They're like, oh, it's only 3 steps. It's gonna be easy. If I made those 3 steps extremely tedious, and tedious because it revolved around changing your entire perspective in your entire life, I promise you, about 700,000 people will leave that live because they don't want to change themselves. But if I just had a blank check and was just handing out blank checks with infinite money, you recognize how not real that is. How there's no order and law in that. In the light, there is that is. How there's no order and law in that. In the light, there is law and order. In light, there is balance and harmony. So complain not that the light is hard, for that is what it is designed to be. Just be happy that you are in a state now where you're able to choose. Yes, you went through the storm, but now you're out of the storm. You're in the wake of the tornado, as we say. You're in the wake of the tornado. Now, do you want to rebuild your home? Do you want to move? Or do you want to stay in the wake of the tornado and sleep on broken wood and glass? You said you want to be a mom again. Remember, we said be very, very careful with what you ask for. You could be a mother and bring forth the mother energy to all beings. My wife is a doula. My wife is a miracle worker. My wife constantly is around the mother energy because she is the mother. She is motherly to everyone. So listen, if you truly see the power in being a mother, if you truly see that power, it serves for you to say, listen, if I want my kids, I have to be in a state of a mother because that's what I want to be. That's what you said you want. So now be motherly to everyone you see. Bring that mother energy to every plant, to every person, to every wall, and most importantly to yourself. Nurture yourself. Will your grandmother sit up here and tell you, yeah, be in dark and cry with no solution? Will your grandmother really be like, oh yeah, it's over, it's all over? You think your grandmother really gonna say that to the grandchildren? You think your mother is gonna say that to an actual mother? Because we do have parents that are just, wow, we picked them. But that actual mother, not a parent. I'm talking about a mother and a father. I see the word parent as different than the words mother and father. Because a mother and father is a mother and a father. A parent is just someone that is biological. And I bring the energy to everybody because that's who I am. Exactly. So continue to do that. You will attract this frequency. And before you know it, you will be in that existence where you're around your children. But remember, you only push it away if you allow the darkness to set in. I will give you a technique and we'll move forth with these teachings. When you're facing north, make a sound with your mouth. This ooh, ooh. Make a sound that's wavy and then straight. Wavy and then straight. You can even do it with just the vibrations. Mm, as if you're doing vibrato. Wavy, straight. As you're doing this sound, focus on your heart center, facing north. Send this consciousness. Don't, when we say the word consciousness, that means ignore your body. The only time you're going to be recognizing your body is when you're trying to focus on where your heart is. Once you find your center, ignore your body. And then as you ignore your body, you're in consciousness and not thought. Thought is paying attention to the body. Thought is paying attention to the body. Consciousness bring the form. You bring forth this frequency, you go from your chest up, consciousness up. You allow this wave to go up, facing north. From your energy center in the heart, up. And you do that in the beginning of the day. And at the end of the day, you lay down south. Do that same thing, but do it backwards. Do straight, ooh, do a straight and then a wavy tone from the chest down, but use your thought. So in the beginning where you're facing north, you're using your consciousness, you're not worried about your form. Now, as you're going from your energy center in the middle, south, you're focused on thought. You're actually paying attention to your body, and you're seeing this wave of energy going down in your body. So now you're visualizing. You'll visualize whatever color you want down. Use this technique, it will help you. I promise you it will help you. As you use this technique, know the technique itself, by itself, even though it's a very powerful one, it will work. It will be very temporary if you allow yourself to be in a state of darkness. So remember, there are two things you can do. If you do all of these techniques, it's going to work. But if you still feel like remnants of darkness, we'll do the technique again and so you don't feel it. Do the technique until you feel like I'm in another crossroads. I can choose something now. When you're in that feeling, go to sleep or take a shower. I don't care if you just took a shower. Go to sleep or take another shower. Going to sleep will reset you every time you die. You're reborn again. If you wake up and you're still in that energy, that means you didn't hit REM sleep. That means you didn't really sleep. So try to get a real sleep in. But if you're already, I just took a nap, I'm already too, awake, take a nice long shower and then do the technique again and you will be fine. Constantly do that. Constantly tell yourself, I'm in the light. Constantly tell yourself, I'm the best mother that ever lived. Man, My frequency is on the level of Mother Mary. I don't care what you say. Just say it. Forgive yourself. And I love that because even though that was a question that was catered to one person, was it really catered to one person? Because all we asked her to do was forgive herself and gave her practical ways, even for you to use, all of you, practical ways to forgive yourself. And that technique I gave her was a very technique that every master, every master knows about that technique. So if you just casually mention that technique to a master, they'll be like, well, who told you that one? Because only the ones know those. North, south. Okay. Branch one to the primary concept number one, which is applying amends, is forgiveness. What we just displayed in that dialogue with her is how to forgive. So heed the call in that. Now we're going to move on to branch two and number one, applying amends. Remember, there's three primary concepts, and each concept has two branches, totaling to 9. Branch two is remembering. As you apply amends, as you are in a state of remembrance. Now, even though you're in a state of remembrance, remember what we told you. If you're yapping at the mouth and not treating these things as sacred and not treating these things as secrets and mysteries, all you're going to do is bring yourself in another state of amnesia. If you're constantly focused on fame and things of the world, all you're going to do is bring yourself in a constant state of amnesia, and you have to restart from square one. I don't care if you're on primary concept number 3. The moment you start saying, oh, you start feeling good, start feeling egoic, you share it to the wrong person, I got to go all the way back to primary concept number 1, because a master wouldn't have allowed themselves to treat such powerful information, powerful wisdom as like a recommendation for a TV show. Do not treat these mysteries and secrets as if it's just a cool little TV show. Hey yo, you seen House of Cards? Hey yo, you seen the new Matrix movie? No. Don't pass this along like if you're passing along TV shows and movies. You debate with people to see where their heart is. Don't argue with people. You debate with them. Debate with people to see where their heart is. And if at the end of that debate, you know what? You're a great person. Let me give you some wisdom. That's what you do. After every single debate you have, you must end it with wisdom. I don't care if whatever happens, it doesn't matter. End it with wisdom. There is no excuse to not end anything with the light. There's no excuse. Even if it's like a little quick little gem nugget, like, hey yo, if you breathe like this, your life gets better, and walk out. Do what you gotta do, bring the light. But debate with people to figure out where their heart is, because that's the only way you're gonna figure out where somebody's heart is if you debate with them. And when we hear the word debate, we think it's like presidential debates and all. It's not a back and forth. You can debate with presence. You can debate with, just like that. I'll give you an example. Debating with presence. If I'm trying to gauge if someone is on the path or not, I always say this thing, walk with me for 3 days. So within this 3 days, if this person is walking with me, if I don't see that you're intentionally bringing forth action and you're just constantly being reactionary, no, because our frequencies don't align. Therefore, our frequencies are debating with one another. Because my frequency is saying have intention when you move, and that person's frequency is saying no, be unintentional. That's a presence debate. You don't need to always vocalize, but though vocalization debates do provide effectiveness, there are many ways to debate with the soul to figure out where their heart is. Essentially, is use discernment. All right, everybody. You are in a state of remembrance when you operate out of forgiveness. Those are the 2 branches. And these 2 branches will assist you with applying amends primary concept number 1. All right, so type 33s in the chat if what we've provided thus far brought forth some service for you. Type 33s in the chat right now. What we have provided thus far has provided some form of service, even if it's a ever small amount. Type 33s in the chat if what we provided brought forth some service. Now, understand that these teachings are not something that's fickle. You have to live this way. You have to live the light. You have to change everything. You have to evolve. You have to experience the awakening. You can't experience the awakening and still do the same things your human self did, because all you're doing is tying yourself down to your human self. If as a human, if you live for 30 years, if as a human you ate meat for 30 years and you're still not evolved, maybe you should stop eating the meat. And that's not saying meat is bad, because as a human, if you're a vegan for 30 years and you're still not evolved, you might pick up a steak. I'm not advocating for anything. I'm saying if you're doing something consistently in your life and you're still not on the path where you feel like God is, change it completely. Don't change it a little bit. No. Cold turkey it. I'm done. This is how you move in a path of the light. We have no nonsense with the dark. There's no nonsense with the ego. When the ego presents itself, look, today I'm gonna give y'all a little truth nugget. Today my energy was all over the place. Financially, things was looking crazy, so donate. That definitely will be very supportive. Financially, things is looking crazy. I'm in the spirit realms, working really, really hard with spirits. I'm changing spirits' lives in the astral realms and everything. My life here is like, oh my goodness, it's such a roller coaster. I started to feel that energy again. Yes, the master, Nadiie. So I take my advice. Face north, send the energy up. Face south, send the energy down. I take some deep breaths. I sit down. All right. I don't even feel like doing nothing right now. Let me go take a nap. I have blackout curtains in my room, or room dividers that's black, so it blocks out the light, so I can hit REM sleep. Then I go deep, deep, deep in slumber. I go and slip into the astral realms, and I go into a parallel reality where the things that I want are approaching, but I'm doing immense action to meet them. And it gave me a lot of tips, but it also showed me some extreme dark things. It showed me things that I can do in the light and things that I can do in the dark. Because when you are in a state where you feel like, oh my gosh, nothing is working, even Yeshua felt that when he was on the cross. God, you have forsaken me. Everybody feels it. Don't feel bad when you do. Even Yeshua felt it. Everybody feels it. Even Yeshua, when he hit his toe, his pinky toe, he might have let out a yelp, but he forgave himself in the next breath. So everybody feels it. You're in a form. Don't remember, you're not an angel. That's what you must remember. You may have angel tendencies, but you're not an angel. Angels don't have form. So don't try to mimic an angel. Be who you are and be the best version of you can possibly be. You don't have to do all these extra modalities and the spiritual and the light. No. Be the best version of you can possibly be, because that's all God is asking for. God is not asking you to be an angel, because if God was asking you to be an angel, you would be an angel. God don't need to wait for your approval of anything. It doesn't need to wait for your approval. If Source wants something, and it wants nor needs not, but just understand, if it's in Source's will for your path to be in a particular way, it will be on that way. If it's not, then it's not. So be comfortable in your own skin, be comfortable with your own life, and practically, regardless of whatever happens, I am trying my best. I am trying my best. And if you're really trying your best, then bravo. But I took a deep sleep, and I was just like, all right, I'm better. I've seen a lot of things. I see some very dark things. I did some very dark things. I did some very light things. But in the realms of spirit, when you're in these crossroads, when you're able to go into the astral realms, you're able to go into spirit realms, crossroads like this, God will give you both extremes. Like, Nadiie, if you choose that path, you're gonna be like this. I'm like, dang, I did that. Because remember, you're infinite. Every single possibility you have experienced, every single one. And then God told me some experience, some extremely light things. And I'm like, dang, I did that. And then God was like, yes. What do you want to choose? And I was like, let me bring the light to the dark. And God was like, that's why you're wise. Because many scurry away from that super dark path that you've seen. But you chose to go down that path with the light to transmute it. Because I said to myself, was that even a possibility? After I got up, I got in the shower. Remember, I had to take a shower. I got in a deep shower, and I allowed that water to not just hit my body. I allowed my astral body to come forth. I allowed my emotional body, my mental body, my etheric body. How do you allow these bodies to come forth? Simply think about them. Simply, who's going to say your light body ain't in the shower if you say your light body in the shower? Really, really ask yourself that. Who are you giving your power to if you think that somebody could be like, nah, your light body not in the shower? If you, the commander of your life, God's child, said, right now, I shower with my light body and my etheric body and my emotional body and my mental body. No one has the authority to say otherwise. Only you do. Only if that little ego voice comes in and say, you know what, you only with your physical body, right? I don't see no light body. I don't see no. That's the doubt. But as you said, it is so. As above, so below. So I was showering with every last one of my bodies. You know how in certain religions there's baptisms? I say every single shower is a baptism for me. I got out the shower and I was like, I'm ready to start my day. Even though it's at 4 o'clock, I'm ready. I was feeling it since till 4. And I was like, now I'm ready to start my day. I I have a husky. I brushed the husky, ran a sweeper, cleaned the dishes. There was some gnats in the kitchen. Opened my front door, swung the gnats out the way so they go through the front door so I can close the door. Um, Cleaned the inside door of my bathroom. I knitted up this or stitched up this blanket for my wife because she had a burn mark on it. I did everything I needed to do. Went outside and I said, now I'm ready to teach. Because I of myself am not comfortable with teaching if I feel like I'm not practicing what I preach. So let me go out and do these things, and then now you see I look good. Like my skin look good, right? I just got out the shower. Now I'm ready. Now I'm ready, and here we have it. So heed these words, heed these calls. Make sure you have notes, mental notes or actual notes. If you have any questions, DM me 33. If you want to donate to me, click the link in my bio. It will bring up a link tree. You can donate there. Any donation is extremely appreciated, especially now. But because of all of these things, so many plans. Like when I got so many ideas and plans came to me, and I was like, God. And the source was like, these plans were here the whole time, but you were just being so negative. You just pushed them out. But the moment you just allow the negativity to just take its course and you transmitted it effectively, ideas just started coming. I'm like, well, dang. So yes, donate. Click the link in our bio. Donate. If you're interested in joining our mystery school, DM me 33 and I will give you our 3-day course for free. Understand that we've posted the full teaching of my primary concepts in the mystery school. I made the audio that way for a particular reason, to try to weed out some people that aren't serious. I didn't show my face and just a thumbnail, just so you can really just listen. Listen to ignore the form. And Source told me to allow that teaching to be available for all members. All members. Even if you're a free member or a paid member. All the lessons, though, if you are not a paid member, for all members. All members. Even if you're a free member or a paid member. All the lessons, though, if you are not a paid member, all you need to do is at least be on the transcending tier. The transcending tier, it costs more to buy a king size Twix bar than to get in the mystery school. There is a pathway for you. There's 2 tiers. A more expensive one and a very cheap one. You just need to be a part of the cheap one to get into the lessons. But the last lesson for this first semester of the mystery school is for everyone to see, which is my primary concepts, my teachings as Nadiie. You can go there, join the mystery school, spread this information to all that you know is wise and is willing. I love you all. Peace. If you have any questions, DM me. Don't think I'm some type of ask me anything. The website itself, it will allow you to like set a date, but DM me and we will be able to negotiate the pricing and things of that nature. Put a book a one-on-one session with me. But thank you. We love you all. Peace.